This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast. Thursday, April 27th. You can tell already I had some sleep.
Yeah, not quite as punchy today. I really enjoyed yesterday, and I know it's impossible for you to continue to only get an hour's sleep. But yesterday was a lot of fun. For a man who hadn't slept, you had a lot of energy yesterday.
I don't know why you feel that way. Maybe because I don't sense it. You say, oh, when you don't sleep well, you get punchy, and that's really good. It doesn't feel good.
I know it doesn't feel good.
Like overall.
That's why I know you can't keep doing it. But it was a lot of fun yesterday.
Maybe I do feel that I try and compensate on the outside for how tired I feel on the inside.
You hit it very well yesterday.
Did I? Okay.
Case in point, our walkout songs. That was great. I really enjoyed that.
Was that the Blue Jay game? I think we talked about it in the podcast. Of course, every time a batter comes to the plate, there's a walk-up song.
And I wondered what would happen with the new rules if they'd have time to do that, but they're still doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're quicker, probably, and start them sooner and all that stuff, but you're right. So then we played those yesterday.
Yes.
And then I got thinking, because we have staff meetings here, that I should put together.
This is the best idea
I should put together walk-up songs for every single staff member of the radio station.
Because every week someone else, quote unquote, hosts it.
Right.
And it goes alphabetical. You just went.
I just went. So I've got
like a couple of weeks ago. So
20 weeks
when
before I have to do it again.
When you brought that up, I'm like, you have time. You could do a song for everybody.
So rather than introduce who's to speak, because we go around the Zoom meeting, right? And it's like, okay, next up is you. No. Listen for your walk-up song. And when it's played, you go.
I don't know. Do you think it would be as entertaining for everybody else?
Doesn't matter.
You and I would really enjoy it.
Exactly.
I would love it.
I've told you from the beginning, as long as I'm having a good time,
I know.
I don't give a crap if anybody likes our show. But if I'm having a good time, that's all that's important to me.
100%. I'm on board completely.
Thank God other people do enjoy it. But at the beginning, at the beginning, that wasn't the aim. The aim was to make it fun for us.
Exactly.
And if everybody else wanted to play along, that's right.
But yeah, since then, so you brought that up and then you started spitballing some songs and I suggested that you should do a yacht rock song for everybody.
And that hit it out of the park. That completely brought it in. Oh my gosh.
So is that what you're going to do? Are you going to do it?
Yeah, I'm going to So I'm going to go home and I'm going to mow the lawn today for the first time in calendar year of our Lord 2023. And I'm going to have my yacht rock playlist from my phone in my headphones, and songs are going to come on. I'm going to go, oh, I know who this one's for. And try and see how many staff members for whose songs I can pick. I've already got yours.
Well, do you want to share what it is? Because I don't know if you should use it.
Well, yours will be Take Me in Your Arms.
Do you really?
Rock Me, Rock Me by the original Charity Brown. The first Charity Brown.
Well, I'm the original Charity Brown.
No, you're the more famous Charity Brown.
I don't know about that. But I see, and the only thing about that is you and I are the only ones who are going to recognize, maybe Steve Bowen, that is Charity Brown, because he might have played her at one time. I don't think anybody else in the station. So you think
if I do that, people will say, oh, Mark wants to hug Charity?
I don't think they'll get why that song.
Oh, I get
Like the real reason.
Right.
They may... I don't even know. I don't even know if they make the connection.
Why are we so old here?
I don't know why. I'm not old.
Okay. Yeah, why am I so old?
No, but I don't know that they would make the connection. It would be very funny, yes, for you and I. And for that reason, because as we just established, it is about you and I.
And I think I would tell everybody these are yacht rock selections. And to your credit, you're so young. You brought up a couple of titles to say, well, are those yacht rock? Like you didn't even know the parameters of yacht rock.
You did mention one song. I'm like, really? That to me,
is yacht rock. Oh, it's definition yacht rock.
Coming after the actual, I guess, yacht rock era, I wouldn't have categorized that song as yacht rock,
but yacht rock programmers do. So so very good.
Fine,
I'm ready.
Mark. You're the expert.
I can't wait now.
You do what you want.
But I can't use that song for you?
You can. just prepare yourself because nobody else
For the
is going to
blank
get
looks.
it. Nobody's going to get it, but you and I are going to die laughing. Again, Steve may get it too.
Okay.
Everybody else will be like, okay, that's
You've just made it more
nice
worth
song.
it than before.
Okay, sure.
I can't wait.
Would I hear it?
Anyway, we'll do that next staff meeting.
I'm
We'll warn
excited
everybody.
for it now. Now we
Yeah.
got to wait to go through everybody else.
And we can't
to
play
you again.
music in podcasts because it goes over the internet and then there's copyright issues. Otherwise, we'd share our production efforts with everybody.
Mine was you put Journey's Don't Stop Believing up for my walk-up song, and yours was On the Wings of Love.
On the Wings of Love. I was going to use Sailing by
Which was
Christopher
so good. We just started yesterday. Oh my God.
Could you imagine a baseball player coming up in the middle? Everybody else has got, the Weekend.
On the Wings of Love.
It's like, here comes Yacht Rocker playing What a Fool Believes. Hi, everybody. It's my turn to bat. Please welcome.
Everybody move in from the outfield. Or they
like
just
the
kind of
old-
look around. They're like, "What the heck
It's
is
like
going
the old man shift. No, everybody, you can't move
you
everybody.
imagine?
You can't move everybody into the infield because Mark's back.
Could you imagine, though, someone going up to the bat, and I don't even know who, but Vladdy or Bichette or Witt out there looking around going, what is playing? Like, what is this?
On the wings of
Yeah, because usually it's rap. Sometimes
Right.
you get a bit of country, but
Yeah,
it's
you
not.
get some rock
It's not
and-
it's not even pop music. Like it's not, and it's definitely not yacht rock.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait for my next staff meeting. So
Maybe
good.
we could speed it up. Maybe I could bribe somebody to say,
Well,
could you switch with Mark? Wait until you're done. I'll wait
You're
till
up
you got
before
them all.
I am, so maybe we can swap. Maybe we'll trade out in the
I
draft.
will recruit you to run my meeting. Mark's going to run my meeting this week.
That's what we'll do. Good idea. Because that'll speed it up by a few weeks. I think you're due up in about 6 or 8 weeks. So-
Before you.
Oh, yeah,
Because
that-
you just went.
I just
so
went a
now we
couple weeks
gotta
ago.
recycle through and get everybody else.
so good.
I'm so excited now for your meeting. It's going to be so good.
Everybody should have a walk-up song. That's what we believe. Get your fishing rods ready. We had Remco de Goyer on the show this morning because Walleye Fishing Weekend is next weekend. Remco de Goyer joins us this morning with Mark and Charity just ahead of the Walleye World Fishing Weekend. Back, Remco, for the first time since 2019.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
The 40th annual Kiwanis Walleye World Fishing Derby. Wow. 40 years, Remco.
It has been a wild 4 decades, that's for sure. A lot has changed since we first started.
Now, how many signed up that very first year? Do you remember?
Oh, I think that first year was less than 100 people.
Yeah,
Really?
exactly.
And now?
Well, now we typically average anywhere from 4,000 to 6,000 people.
Exactly, yeah.
It's incredible.
And the beauty of the 40th year this year is that having taken 4 unfortunate years off, the fish have been lulled into a false sense of insecurity. And how many? 4,000 you figure this year are going to be back?
Well, we hope we'll see as many as we can out there. It's hard to say, of course, because 4 years is a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what would you say brings the people here to the Bay of Quinte?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing, of course, is that we're the first body of water in the province that opens for fishing after the ice fishing season is done. So the other areas of the province won't open for a couple more weeks. But the Bay of Quinte is nestled into M&R Zone 20, which otherwise covers just Lake Ontario. And there's not a lot of room on Lake Ontario for small boats this time of year, but
Right.
you can get some good fishing in the Bay of Quinte.
And everything's looking good ahead of the launch on Saturday, May 6th?
Well, we hope so. The biggest part, of course, is the weather. Make sure that she's a nice weekend, nice and temperate, and no snow.
Snow doesn't help?
No, not particularly. No, surprisingly, people just don't like that.
No.
Many years ago, we had ice on the bay up until about 5-6 days before the Derby, and thought we'd have to be renting augers out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Remco de Goyer joins us. It is the Walleye World Fishing Weekend beginning midnight, 12:01 a.m., Saturday, May the 6th. Tags are still available, are they, Remco?
Oh, yeah, yep. You can still get tickets up until midnight on the 5th. Obviously, a lot of retailers will be closed well before midnight, but the weigh stations will have tickets on hand. But at 11:59, ticket sales end, and at 12:01, the fishing starts.
And
Wow.
have your sponsors stuck around? What are some of the big prizes?
Well, we've got, because we run 2 prize categories for walleye and pike. And our top prize this year in the walleye is going to be $10,000 cash.
Nice.
And then in the pike, then we got a boat, motor, and trailer.
Boat, motor, and trailer.
Wow.
And what are the tagged fish? What's the biggest amount?
Well, the biggest amount on the tagged fish is $50,000.
$50,000. And where did you release it?
My bathtub.
For the 40th year in a row, Remco won $50,000.
Wow, what are the odds? It's amazing.
There's nothing fishy about that at all.
Now, what has been the biggest prize, Remco, through the years? Has anyone won that kind of prize at the end of the weekend?
Well, thankfully, no. But people have won. There have been many years where we have a couple of tagged fish getting caught, and they're worth about $1,000 a piece typically.
Okay.
I think, didn't somebody a few years ago catch one like after the tournament was over, like a week or 2 weeks, and it was a $10,000 fish?
One of the big ones.
Does that sound familiar?
That wasn't a $10,000. I do recall that was another $1,000 tag.
Oh,
Okay.
it was,
So
okay.
after Derby weekend, after the event closes at 4 p.m. on Sunday, there's no cash prizes for those tags anymore. But if they do catch a tag and they let us know, then we'll try to still hook them up with some swag.
Oh,
Sweet.
Good
Very
for you.
nice.
That's great. So we're gonna pray for good weather, get lots of people come on into the Quinte region and put your hard work to a great cause with the Walleye World Fishing Weekend. Remco, fish well, tell your stories, and where can people get all the details and the maps so they know where the way stations are?
Well, the biggest, most up-to-date source is our website at KiwanisWalleyeWorld.com. That's the place to find all the information. And, of course, on the weekend of, you can access our online live leaderboard, which updates in real time as results happen through our website as well.
Wow. Awesome.
It's going to be a great weekend.
Thanks for everything you're doing for the first 40 years of this great event, and best of luck on the 6th and 7th.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Could you imagine yanking one out of the water? It's got a $50,000 tag on it. Oh, my gosh.
What would you do? And it's funny when he said they, like, as of midnight on the 6th, like going into the 6th, 12 o'clock.
Right.
And I didn't want to sound ridiculous by asking this, but does everybody show up at 12:01?
No, but a lot of people do.
Yes, and I would think a lot of people do, but to have 4,000 to 6,000 people participating over the weekend, like, are they all just waiting until and then boom, clock strikes midnight, they're out there? Like, I'm interested to know how many people start at midnight.
Well, the only way you could figure it out is if anybody brought a fish to a weigh station before midnight, because that would be the thing, right? You know, if you're, as long as you're out in your boat and your fishing line isn't in the water, you're not breaking the law.
But that's what I mean. I would like to look out at the bay or see the crowd.
Yeah.
Because I understand the passion, but to be out there as soon as it starts, I'm just curious to know how many overnight fishermen
there are. If you're listening to the podcast and you take part in that, text us in at 613-962-0955. We'll cover it tomorrow morning.
Because I'm sure there are people who, as soon as they can, their line's in the water.
I know a lot of people who are ready at the crack of dawn, so they'll get up about 5:30 on the Saturday morning. You're right. And I've heard people say that you can walk across the Bay of Quinte without getting your foot wet. You can literally just step boat to boat to boat to get across. Very common spot is Trenton at the mouth of the Trent Severn, because that's a throughway for the fish.
Yeah.
And then all around to like Hay Bay and places like that.
And I didn't realize it was the first body of water to open.
No, I'm glad he brought that up.
Yeah.
That there, I thought that was a universal across Ontario.
Yeah.
But no, we are registered to open sooner because of where we're located. So it's just another great place to be.
Another reason why the Quinte area is amazing.
So Walleye World Fishing Weekend, Kiwanis. Put those words together in some way.
And we've got to remember, too, it is a fundraiser. It's one of the biggest fundraisers for the Kiwanis Club. They do quite well over the weekend, and rightly so, because they support a lot of kids in this area.
Ton of stuff. And on the Friday morning of next week, sitting up here on the second floor of 497 Dundas Street West, you see the trucks and the boats going by as they're heading this way and that way, because we run parallel onto the shores of the Bay of Quinte and to watch the boats on the road making their way. It's another sure sign spring has arrived, and hot weather is on the way. So Remco, thanks for that this morning. Once again, Google the Kiwanis Walleye World Fishing Weekend and get your tickets for that. Final thought this morning goes to the inspiration for a lot of us who ever done any kind of performing in our lifetime. We learned it by watching the Carol Burnett show on Saturday nights.
Oh my God, what an icon.
Yeah.
I forgot about it yesterday afternoon, and it was about 7:45. and I was watching Murder, She Wrote. And it dawned between that and the Boston game. I was going back and forth.
Was that
waiting
the
for Boston to
episode
start.
where she went to some family reunion and somebody got killed?
Yeah, someone got
she
killed.
just
And
happened to be there?
she didn't have to go to the reunion this time. It was right in her hometown. It was right in Cabot Cove. Yeah.
Oh,
Someone came
boy.
home for their reunion.
Oh, okay, that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was about 7:45, and I had that moment of panic, like, oh, this is about to start. So I got it taping, like I set the PVR so it would record because I knew I wouldn't be able to stay up for all of it. And I started watching it, and what an amazing woman. Like, just...
Yeah.
There are people, entertainers, and you have them too, but she, I would say, is one of those people for me who I just absolutely adore. Like, she really... She hit a nerve with me, and everything she does, I just absolutely love her. She was genuine, sincere, and just funny, like truly funny. All she wanted to do was make people laugh. All she wants. I shouldn't talk about her in the past tense, but she celebrated her 90th birthday yesterday. So
That
NBC,
looks great.
She did look great. I will say the special, I was a little disappointed in the sense that it was. I wish there had been more of her. They showed snippets of an interview with her talking about her life.
Okay.
And that in itself would have been amazing.
Right.
So if they'd done that and then shown clips from her show, from Mama's House, from the movies, like just did that would have been great. But they threw some stars in here and there, of course, who spoke about how she had influenced their career and things and some performed songs that she performed. There was a production from Annie they did, for instance.
Yeah.
And Kristen Chenoweth and Peters, I believe her last name's Peters. Bernadette Peters
Yep.
performed a song she and Julie Andrews performed in one of their specials. And it was lovely, but it was kind of like,
yeah.
just have her. Like, all you need is her. Just show her. The clips from the Carol Burnett show were so funny. Nathan looked at me at one point. He's like, what are we watching? Like, what is this moment? I'm like, shh, this is comedy. Watch this. And Vicki Lawrence, I told you about that. She got up and said a few words. And she was one of the few who I thought, okay, this is nice. Because she talked about how Carol helped her get her start in comedy and with her entire career and their time together and all these little anecdotes and stories, which were very interesting and funny. And then they showed clips. So it was nice. It was nice.
It's good. I mean, everything I ever wanted to learn about timing in comedy, writing, word use, collaborative banter, wordplay, Harvey Korman and Tim Conway, you could learn by watching the Carol Burnett show.
So good. Well, and I didn't realize, because Carol, like, it started, and it was good that way, because it started out right from the beginning of her life through her last 90 years, how everything progressed and how she became who she is. But she talked about going to New York the first time. So she was in school and performing, and someone saw her, and I didn't know this story, so I thought it was amazing. Someone saw her perform and asked her what she was doing, like what did she want to do with her life and where she wanted to go. She goes, well, eventually I want to go to New York and perform and do all this thing. He's like, well, why aren't you there now? And she said, well, to be honest, we're poor, and I need to finish school, and I hope one day I'll have enough money to go to New York and do all of this.
Yeah.
And he said, I'll tell you what, I will send you to New York. There's some stipulations here, but I will get you there. He said, you have 5 years to pay me back once you start working. So you pay me back if you can within 5 years. Number 2, you never tell anybody I'm doing this. You never reveal who I am. You never talk about me, nothing. And you pay it forward. You do something for someone else when you make it big.
And she lived up to that?
Yep. He and his wife sent her to New York, set her up, paid for her to move there. She was working, I think, within 6-8 months, paid him back, has never revealed who it was, and
Clearly
has worked.
paid it forward with Vicki Lawrence.
Exactly.
That's the best example.
And continues to pay it forward.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah. So to that individual, we owe a debt of gratitude.
My gosh.
Carol Burnett may never
and
have
so many
made it.
what she has done.
The Carol Burnett
since
tree
doing it.
of
Exactly, because
performers.
part of Vicki Lawrence said Carol Burnett actually showed up at her doorstep. She sent her a fan letter and gushed about her and told her how much she meant to her. And Carol showed up on her doorstep and said, come work with me at 17.
Oh, my God.
Brought her onto the show. So she did. She said last night, she goes, I think she was 18 when she joined the show, when she joined us on stage. She was 24 when she first put the mama costume on, Vicki Lawrence.
Yeah.
And she says she was such a talent and just a joy and so talented, of course.
Yeah.
Of course we had to have her.
And there are so many people. I know there's a Steve Carell story in there when he sent her a letter, a fan letter that she later acknowledged, and that would be Steve Carell. So, you take a look at even today's performers and you wonder, who did they emulate growing up? I can't think of too many in the world of comedy.
Ellen
or
DeGeneres
writing.
was on there last night.
Writing.
Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
Amy Poehler.
They
Like
wouldn't
all
choose
these.
Carol Burnett as one
Yeah.
of their idols. Yeah.
It was pretty neat to watch.
was good to do.
She's quite a treasure.
At 90.
90.
Carol
Amazing.
Burnett, all the best. Coming up on the show tomorrow, it's Jimmy Hollywood. Hopefully we get a chance to chat with him. Rumor Day
I know,
tomorrow.
yeah.
Get in. Rumor Day is going to be at 7:50 for Team Guernsey. That's coming up. Dad joke with Galaxy of Games. Got your dad joke?
Did you play it for me this? Oh,
I think I did.
It's not going to be as good as last week.
Not as good as last week's with the wooden shoe in the
No
toilet.
more bathroom humor.
Ah, it was a clog.
That was a good one.
and delivered well by the winner. Oh, it was a clog. Listeners are onto us. I got to figure out what it takes to be on the air. So we have that tomorrow. And whether Charity likes it or not, tomorrow we'll discuss the fact that we did not jinx the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I hope not.
For Game 5
you say
tonight.
we. I didn't. I wasn't we.
I don't know why you think if we talk about it, that's bad.
It wasn't that we talked about it. It was the enthusiasm with which it was talked about.
Constant reminder they haven't won a playoff series in 19 years.
Don't.
Okay,
Don't.
maybe. But
Not
see,
so
then
much that, but like they have a chance tonight. They're gonna.
Yeah.
As soon as you say that,
Yeah, I know. But then it sounds like we don't understand if we don't bring it up.
we can talk
don't
about
know.
it tomorrow.
Okay.
After the game.
All right.
After the game
Yeah.
is done, we
And
can
if
talk about it
something
all
dreadful
you
happens,
want.
it was Charity's fault.
It
Mark
was-
and Charity. What? You had more to add?
Nope.
Okay. Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast. Have a super one. Sun's out in the Quinte region today. Enjoy it. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning.